Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is
Twisted and Uncorked. So for the last 2 days, all I've been wearing when I get home is my new slipper socks that my mommy got me for Christmas.
Oh,
They got Canadian flags on them.
that's amazing.
And yeah, super Canadian. And my really fuzzy red bathrobe and toques and sweatpants because it's fucking cold.
Ask Alexa what 71 in Fahrenheit is in Celsius.
Alexa, what's 71 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
71 degrees Fahrenheit is about 21.67 degrees Celsius.
That's like
Did that
perfect.
answer your question?
That's what it was on Christmas for us here.
What the
And
fuck?
Jesse got me these super fuzzy aloe socks. They're like socks, but they like moisturize too.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
put 'em
that's
on, I was like, oh
awesome.
my god, these are the greatest things ever. And then 10 minutes later, I was like, it's way too fucking hot for this. I'm sorry.
When it gets colder.
I can't.
And it's so weird because this time last year you had like a weird snowstorm going on and that was in March, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was in
that was in
March.
March. It is supposed to be colder next month. So, I don't know. It's weird. What year was that? I think it was like 2015 maybe. We lived in Virginia, and it was so warm on Christmas that we literally went swimming outside on Christmas. Which is crazy because we had lived there for 5 years, and another year it literally snowed for Christmas.
Wild.
Like, global warming is
Warming,
so
yeah.
fucked up.
Guys, take care of your planet.
It's fucking up our states, okay?
Yeah, it's minus 13 here, which for our American listeners we equated to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm not digging it. And it just won't stop snowing. And I drive a Toyota Yaris hatchback, and that's not great in the snow. And I work pretty far away, so this needs to stop. I was happy with the white Christmas, but it's 3 days later now, guys. Snow needs to fuck off. It is really pretty, though. I'll send you some pictures when we're done.
Oh my goodness, Happy New Year.
Happy
the
New Year
listeners
to our
anyway,
listeners.
in the
Yes.
future.
Yes. And,
Hopefully
we're
we
going to...
survive.
Yes. Fingers crossed that 2022 is
Listen,
not...
you have no idea how excited I am for 2022. 22? Oh my god. This is going to be
It's
the
my
greatest
favorite
year
number,
for
too.
me
It's a
ever.
good one.
It is going to be amazing.
Let's
so
hope
excited.
that Hot Girl 28 continues. Nothing crazy
Hell yes.
happens. No fucking more variants of COVID. Just, we're going to hope.
Speaking of, the flu this season is just out of control.
Flu?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because everybody's, like, immune systems are so bad. I mean,
Yes,
not us. We're fine.
that's true.
My son is a little right now. It's not COVID, but he's just not feeling hot.
Yeah, poor
But
kid.
I've been looking, like, in all the mom groups, and everyone's like, oh, it's going around. The flu, strep throat, bronchitis, like, all of it.
Oh, my
this
God.
winter season. I'm like, jeez.
But it's true because
So,
we're
we've
so
just
used to being inside or away from people
Yeah.
that as soon as you're exposed to anything or any restrictions are
Yeah.
lifted, it's like everything attack. But how was your Christmas? We're doing a little Christmas
was
recap here.
Great.
What'd
Yeah,
you get? What'd you do? I saw a pillow fort
so-
situation? Question mark.
So that was for my children.
Yes.
My kids got nuggets. They each got one. If you are a parent
What the
who
fuck
has
is a nugget?
child 10 or under, you probably know and have heard about a nugget. The nugget is the #1 top toy for the year 20. I think it was for 2020. It might be for 2021 as well. But for last Christmas, basically. And it's literally 4 pieces of fabric or of pillow of foam, memory foam, right?
Okay.
And you can
That's
stack them
what
on top
that
of
was.
each other in a certain way, yeah, to make a couch. So their slogan is, the top toy for toddlers is actually a couch. Who knew? Like, who knew they would want this couch? And my kids
Because it's
already had couches
comfy,
in their
they can
rooms.
build it, they can, yeah. I get that.
Exactly. My kids already had couches in their rooms, so we got them these ones instead. These are ones that they can kind of play with more. My daughter got a shit ton of gymnastics stuff, including like an above floor like balance beam.
Oh,
so she
cool.
uses the nugget underneath, so if she falls off, she lands on the
Perfect.
nugget. Yeah, so they love the things. Even I love it. It's so fun building it, and it's comfortable. It's like,
Aww.
nice memory foam. Like, it's comfortable.
It looked like
So
she
those were
built
really
a
cool.
pillow fort tunnel in her living room.
Yes. Yeah, there's so many different ways you can stack and build the nuggets, especially since we got 2. That's what my kids got.
Nice.
I got my Seasons of the Witch Yule card,
Yay!
which I'm so happy about. And it was really funny because I got these from my mother-in-law's aunt, who actually lives up here. So whenever my mother-in-law
Oh.
comes, she comes and hangs out with us too.
Nice.
And we went to my favorite witch store, which is inside of a thrift store, because my mother-in-law's aunt loves thrift shopping, and Jesse has
I
been
swear to
trying
God,
find these
Crystals
for
and
me.
Curiosities needs to just sponsor
Yes.
us. We've said it on the show so many
Yes.
times.
Seriously. Jesse had been trying to find the cards for me, and he couldn't, and so I was like, I know that they're at this place. I saw them there.
Yeah.
Can I just grab them, or did you get them? And he was like, no, you go ahead and grab them. And I was like, okay, cool. So as soon as we got in there, I walked over and I grabbed them, because there was only like 1 or 2 left. And my mother-in-law was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, Jesse couldn't find it for me, so he told me to just grab it. And she was like, but what is it? And I was like, it's like a card game. And she was like, oh, okay, let me see. And I was like, oh God, please don't like read it. Don't like look at it. Like, what are you doing? And she just like gave it to my, to her aunt really quick and was like, Sierra wants this for Christmas. And like, they went over and paid for it. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's not a game
so I
we
got
can
that.
play together, though, just so you know.
No. Jesse got me this fucking wine glass that is
Oh,
amazing.
it's beautiful.
It's huge. I have overfilled
What does it say on
wine.
it?
It says celebrate.
Oh, okay. That's cute. And I like that it has a black
but
base.
I have... Me too. I've overfilled my wine so many fucking times. Like, honestly, it's stressing me out because I wasted it a few times because, like, I just can't drink anymore. But I love it. It's huge and amazing.
Awesome.
And probably my favorite gift ever is my AirPods.
Who got you those? That's
Jesse.
exciting.
I always listen to a podcast when I'm cleaning or cooking or this or that. Anytime I am in the
It
kitchen
changed
with
my life,
headphones
so
on,
I'm happy for
it
you.
pulls them out of my fucking ears because it gets caught on the cabinets or whatever. So
Or
I
my
finally
favorite
threw
is when
away-
it snags on something and then your phone flies into a place where
Yeah.
it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more of that.
I finally threw away my wired. Only one of the sides worked anyway, and the mouthpiece didn't work anymore. Like, they're so fucking old. And yeah, I needed
I'm so
headphones.
happy
I threw
for
them
you.
away, and I was like, I'm so happy to throw these away right now. This is amazing. But then I got a lot of little stuff too, like some more crystals in my stocking. My son got me this random key.
Oh, I
'cause
like
it's cool.
it though. I like it. He
too.
knows you. Your mom,
Yeah.
his mom is witchy and weird, so naturally she
Yes.
needs an antique key that goes nowhere.
It was great though. It was a
Aww.
great Christmas.
And it was good to
Oh!
see your mama-in-law.
My mother-in-law got me and Jesse tickets to a hockey game, Tampa game here, and it is
so
the
exciting.
only outdoor game of this season.
That's
Yeah,
so hockey. I love it. I'm so
yes,
excited for you.
Super cool. I'm so excited. And she got me lightning earrings to wear to it and stuff.
Cute.
It's gonna be great.
So I got 2 days just with Kevin. It was our first Christmas that we didn't actually do anything. Because normally we go to my mom and dad's house on Christmas, but we waited until Boxing Day. So the Sunday, which was kind of nice. It was like an extended Christmas. And Sierra wished me a happy Boxing Day, which made me laugh out loud. It was the cutest thing ever. I was like, "Aw."
Yeah, there's a company called Violent Gentleman that does like hockey stuff. and I subscribe to them for, to buy Jessie hockey gear whenever it goes on sale. And because it's hockey, obviously, they have a lot of Canadian people, so they sent out a text message that said Happy Boxing Day. And I was like, I saw it come up on my watch. And I was like, oh, babe, go get my phone. I need to tell Alicia Happy Boxing Day.
It was so cute. It made my day. It was just kind of like an extended Christmas, which was nice. So we did turkey and all that stuff, and we do Secret Santa. So my dad, he got me again this year, and he was laughing because I always give my mom ideas. And I give her different ideas than I give to Kevin because that causes anxiety. Yeah. And so my dad was saying how lame I was because I asked for a new planner and I asked for like an actually reusable gigantic water bottle. So I got both of those things for my dad, which was really cool.
Good.
It's like all like astral, like it's all like space themed, my planner, so it's really cool.
That's amazing. I love those.
He's like, I thought of aliens when I saw this, and I was like,
yes.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my water bottle is great. I know that's lame. And then Kevin got me this. Woo! So I'm gonna re-spruce my little pod area. He also got me wine and crime tickets, which I'm so excited for.
Yay, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad
Again, I wish you could come with me, but yes.
I know.
And we got like gift cards, and my parents got us lots of like dinner gift cards, which was really sweet for like date nights, even though they weren't supposed to do anything. And it's the coolest thing ever. I almost need to go grab it. It's like little syrups, like coffee syrups. They're Friends bottles. All of them are little different Friends, so it's like a coffee set, but it comes with like butterscotch, vanilla, like 18 different ones, and they all have like something different from the show on it. And then my mom got me these like little, they look like Polaroids. I don't know. I'm going to use them I'm going to make fancy coffee for a few weeks. And she got me these like playing cards that look like Polaroid photos, but they're like a Friends trivia game. So we're going to play those at some point.
Nice.
We're going to, maybe on our 100th episode, we'll like
bring back to Friends.
yeah, because that's how our first episode started. Yeah, or that. Yeah, that would be perfect. So it was very cool. And then he got me a t-shirt that says Friends.
Awesome.
Because I have a crop sweater, but he's like, you can't wear that out in public, so here's something you can. Yeah, it was very cool.
Goodness.
Yeah. Feel spoiled. I'm just happy that I got to see my family. And yeah. Thankful for Sierra. We already know what she got me, so if you're not a patron, you can go watch that. And speaking of patrons, we have 2 new patrons to thank. So thank you so much, Big Jim and Desiree, for joining our Patreon. If you would like to join, you can go to Twisted and Uncorked, patreon.com/Twisted and Uncorked, and you get fun stuff starting at the $1 level, because we love you lots. And we'll do a little recap like we did last month of everything that we covered. And if you're not able to join us on Patreon and you want to help out the show, you can leave us a 5-star rating and review. And just a reminder, you can leave a 5-star rating now on Spotify, so go do that.
Yay!
Lots of Spotify listeners were like, I want to leave you guys a review, but I listen on Spotify. Go leave it there. It still helps us out. And yeah, we just wanted to say thank you. We've gotten a couple of new reviews, which were really fun to read. Made our day. Also, lots of really kind words from other podcasters. So thank you guys so much. Yeah. So, yeah. It was a good holiday season. We hope all of you guys had a good holiday season and a good New Year's Eve. Happy 2022, like Sierra said. Here's hoping for a better fucking year.
Before we get started, my daughter set these on my desk here, and I assume it's for us to see. This is a picture of me, apparently. It says Mama.
Oh, adorable. That's
really
really good. Oh.
And it's you winking.
Because I do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, she's silly.
Those are so freaking cute. I love it. She was feeling artsy that day, was she? I like how we also
guess so.
just kind of look the same.
Right, yes, exactly the same, except my hair is a little bit wavier. All right, let's get into the normal episode before
We're
people
covering
leave.
part 2 of our nobody's here anymore, of our Bloody Benders Sierra edition. But before we get into
We
that,
are.
do you have a fun fact for me?
I do have a fun fact, and it's a weird one.
Oh,
The color of Coca-Cola before the dye is added
I'm nervous.
is actually green.
What the fuck? Why?
I don't know.
What are they putting in it that it's that color? I'm nervous now.
I mean, Mountain Dew is green,
that's true.
you know? I don't know.
So maybe whatever that process is, they just never added dye to Mountain Dew. They're like, this color works.
Yeah, maybe. Well, why did they decide to add dye to Coke?
Would you
That's so
drink-
weird.
Well, first of all, Coke's colors are red.
I love Mountain Dew.
So red and green, people would think
Yeah,
holiday.
but Santa was like a huge,
That's true.
sponsor of Coke for forever.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I
Again,
don't
it's
know
like
either.
the
It's
slug
weird.
thing, guys. You gotta look this up for us. Let us
Oh,
know.
God. So weird.
Still my weirdest fact ever that you've given me. My fun fact's a little weird too. People used to say prunes instead of cheese when having their pictures taken. In the 1840s, a cheesy
Why?
grin, like a smiling photo, was seen as childish.
Uh-huh.
So one London photographer told people to say prunes, so it would keep their mouths taut, kind of like a modern day fish face or duck face.
Wow.
Yeah. So this happened for about 180 years before people were like, yeah, we're just gonna smile in photos now.
That's kind of awesome, though, that the duck face was the first smile.
It's like
you know what I mean?
180
Because
years old.
everyone makes fun of people for doing that now. And it's like, actually, they're the original.
Yes, this is
So.
what we used to. Prunes. If you guys don't want to
amazing.
look goofy and smile in your photos, just say prunes first.
Yeah, but now you look like a basic white bitch, quote unquote. If you say
Or
prunes, so.
like an 1840s black and white photo. One of the two.
I mean, yes, I'd rather say that, but in 2021/2022, oh my God, I'm never gonna get used to this.
Yes.
Let's
but even
let's
like
get
my
rid of-
grandma's family photos, I'm like,
yeah.
why
Can we
is
just
no one smiling?
pretend? Can we just pretend that the last 10 years were like a blur? It's 2022 now. We're gonna pretend it's 1922, and we're just gonna, we're gonna erase everything.
Minus-
We know the 2010s existed, but
minus
let's
the
just
lack
forget
of
about 'em.
rights for women and
people
people
true,
of
yeah.
color. I mean, some of those things still exist.
The more
but
rebel people in
we want to
1922,
keep
please.
the progression, yes, in our version of 1922.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm for
Let's
it.
get rid of the God, I don't even know what to call it. Bullying, you know what I mean? Like,
And let's face it, 1920s glamour is for both of us. So
yeah. 1920s is my jam. Okay.
liquid, winged eyeliner, red lipstick, and curled hair. I'm in.
Yes.
And a fancy smoke thingy.
Flapper dresses.
Yeah, sparkles. Come on.
Oh my God. Speaking of a fancy smoke thingy, don't know if you have noticed, but I have not vaped since I had COVID.
I have noticed, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Well
you.
done. All it took was a
I
deadly
just don't do
virus
any
to
of
make
it
you
anymore.
stop smoking.
Right?
Tell us about this delicious sangria that I'm like gobbling. I actually have 2 drinks
Yeah,
going right
so-
now, but the other one doesn't matter.
I found this sangria recipe on the Chocovine, same from last week, website. And it is called Campfire Cocoa. And it is supposed to be 6 to 7 ounces of steaming hot chocolate, 1 1/4 ounce of rye whiskey, and 1 3/4 ounce of Chocovine with a marshmallow on top. I did that, but my cup wasn't filled all the way. So then I poured in just a shit ton more of this. And I don't know if it was this being the chocolate vine wine, for people who are not watching on YouTube. And I don't know if it's the flavor of this when it's hot or if it's the whiskey that I used.
Oh.
But it is super fucking strong. Like, I can barely drink it. It's so strong. It tastes like chocolate.
Well, you said that was pretty boozy
in my
last
face.
time. So,
Wine.
when it was cold.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really ridiculous.
Do you need to sip it and
I'm still
add more
drinking
hot
it because
chocolate?
it's good.
Oh.
I mean, it's good. It just, I feel like I'm in high school drinking,
She boozy.
Liquor, like taking shots. Yeah, it's really strong. But it's delicious. I only have a little bit left. When my mother-in-law was here, she was drinking it with me. It's so good. Also, when you told me that you had the raspberry one, this is what I thought you meant. There is a literal raspberry one
version. Yeah,
of
no,
the
I
chocolate
wish.
vine.
Yeah.
And it's still like a
Is it
chocolate
good?
wine. It's
half empty, guys, so
is
clasically she's had
good.
some.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the issue, though. I've had it in my new wine glass, and I don't realize how big this wine glass is.
It's like all of my wine glasses. Everybody laughs at me, and they're like,
Yeah.
Alicia, could you fit any more in there? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. But I don't know how to describe it. Have you ever had raspberry chip ice cream?
Yes.
That might not be a thing everywhere.
Yes.
Okay. So in Cincinnati, there's a place called Grater's Ice Cream, and they have the ice cream that I believe is now dedicated to Fiona, who is the famous baby hippo, who is the first hippo that was ever seen on an ultrasound. And everybody watches baby Fiona at the Cincinnati Zoo. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the ice cream is named after Fiona now.
Adorable.
It is. But it's raspberry ice cream with chocolate chips in it. That ice cream melted is what this
That
wine
tastes
tastes like.
Okay.
And I love that ice cream. It's really delicious. But every time I drink it, I feel like it's melted ice cream and it kind of grosses me out.
Fair. That's fair.
And so I feel like if I blended it with ice and made like a shake out of it, it'd be perfect.
like a
And I think that's what I'm
froze
gonna do for New
version
Year's.
of chocolate
Yeah.
wine. I love
Like
that.
a milkshake. A wine milkshake.
Do it! Oh my god, I can't. I'm so jealous, guys. Listen to last week's episode to learn about the disaster that entailed. So that said, I was too afraid to... I was going to make it on the stove, because that's how I like to make hot cocoa. But I was too afraid to heat up
same.
that wine.
Yeah, I
so
would be too.
I ended up drinking it, and I just have a Bailey's and hot chocolate in my penguin mug.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more update. Listen,
Yes,
it's been like a week since
absolutely.
we talked to each other.
Yeah, I know, it's
Have
ridiculous.
you ever had Dot's Homestyle pretzels?
No. I don't even think we
If-
have those here.
If Dots will sponsor us, like, literally, I have already spent at least $50 in one weekend on these pretzels. They are so
One
fucking
weekend?
good.
Jesus,
Yes.
how many? Okay, how much is each bag?
Well, it depends on where you get them. This size bag is $5 from Kohl's.
Okay,
We bought like
that's a lot of
probably, like,
pretzels.
6 of them. Honestly, it's kind of small.
Yeah, no,
Jesse
but I
eats
mean
the
like
whole thing in a
when you-
sitting.
What flavor is it? Is it a flavor?
It's called original, but it's definitely a flavor. I don't know what flavor, but it's fucking good.
I love pretzels.
Sinisterhood talked about these pretzels, and they're in Texas. And I was like, that sounds pretty good. I don't really like pretzels, but
Yeah, you lick
Chrissy
the
from
salt off of
Sinisterhood
them.
literally was like, they're life-changing. And I was like, if I ever see them, I'll grab a bag. But I had never seen them before in my life. And then we went to Kohl's, me and Jesse, just the two of us, to get a present for his mom or something. And I saw them at the checkout, this size, and I was like, oh, I need to try those. And he was like, pretzels? And I was like, I heard they're life-changing. I just want to try one. We bought one bag. Literally the next day, we went back and bought like 8 more bags.
So
and
you
then
like
the
them
next
too.
day, yes. Then the next day after that, I found them at Walmart for the bigger bags for the same price, and I bought like 8 more bags. It was
So now your pantry is just full
good.
of Dots pretzels.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to try these. Kevin
do.
Kevin put Dunkaroos in my stocking, and I'm really stoked about that.
That's amazing.
They're bringing them back, baby.
Now that we're like 82 minutes in, let's talk about the Bloody Benders.
Part 2. And if you haven't listened to part 1, you're going to be really confused, so go and listen. If you're new here and you've made it through all of this for whatever reason.
Yeah, also this 82-minute break probably also makes you really confused. So, quick little don't spit out your cocoa. Quick little recap. Identities, because this part is super confusing.
Yes.
So let's talk about the identities really quick.
Yes. So we learn about the family, the Bender family, where they may or may not have come from, and what their birth identities may be. So they believe that Elvira Bender, Mama Bender, is a woman named Almira Hill. Or Almira, yes, or Almira Griffiths, because she married 2 men after this, allegedly, before she ended up with the Bender family. Kate is believed to be her biological daughter. We have no fucking clue where John Jr. came from. And John Bender is believed to be a man named John Flickinger. So Sierra's going to get into where we are now, which is the Benders were at a town meeting.
On the run.
Which basically said that they were going to be searching through every homestead along the area for these missing people. Because obviously they're responsible for said missing people. They're like, we're going to get out of Dodge. So Sierra's going to talk about some of the theories as to what happened to them. So get out your red string boards. I will clarify as
You're
needed.
You're going to need it.
But especially with Elvira and Kate. Those are the particularly confusing ones. But if you hear Griffiths, or I think there's one more last name that she is believed to be, that is Elvira, Mama Bender.
Right. Okay. So, we are now going to talk about some of the kind of, I guess, evidence that makes people think that these are the Benders, right? So this is testimony from people who stayed at the Benders Inn, which, again, how the fuck do you stay at this? How is it an inn? Yeah, not even cabin. Like, when you say cabin, you think of Airbnb. This is a glorified
room,
fucking gas station minus gas. Like, that's what it is. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Check out our socials and our website for believed sketches of what they think that this is.
Yeah, and dimensions. Yes. Holy shit.
16 by 24, approximately the size of a master bedroom.
Exactly. So there are people who stayed there who surprisingly didn't die. And they, based on their testimony, it appeared to support the presumed execution methods of the Benders. A man named William Pickering said that he had refused to sit near the wagon cloth because of stains on it, which were most likely blood.
Yes, and that was what separated the back room with the main storefront. And there was believed to be a little trap door under said special spot.
Yes. He refused to sit near it, and then he was threatened with a knife by Kate Bender for refusing to sit near it. It's so strange, right? These
escalated quickly.
Weirdos. Yeah, and so he fled. He's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't really want to eat in your tiny cabin anyway.
Right. A Catholic priest who went in claimed that he saw one of the Bender men concealing a large hammer, and he became uncomfortable by this and also fled.
Can't say I blame
left
him.
Very quickly. Yeah. 2 men had traveled to the inn to experience Kate Bender's psychic powers, because remember, she was said to be a, I don't know, what's a old-timey medium? Like a fortune teller, a
Yeah.
psychic?
Clairvoyant.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Right. Whatever they said in the old-timey days.
In the 1800s.
Yeah. They went in to experience her psychic powers and stayed for dinner, but they refused to sit at the table near that cloth again, instead preferring to eat their meal at the main shop counter. Kate did not like that, became abusive towards them, and a little while later, the two Bender men emerged from behind the cloth. And then the two men who were sitting at the table that they didn't want to sit near the cloth, felt uneasy, and they were like, let's leave also.
Always listen to your gut, guys, and never sit near a blood-soaked wall.
Yeah, that's just, I would think common sense, but you never know. All of those people deciding to leave, I mean, probably their lives were saved. Like,
yes,
the trap door was right there.
Yeah.
So, ridiculous.
Yeah. And remember, they killed for less. Some people were traveling with everything they had to their name, and some people had nothing. So,
right.
There was no standard.
Yeah. Another little bit of, I guess, evidence is that more than a dozen bullet holes were found in the roof and sides of the cabin. The media at the time, it's a funny word for the time,
right?
Speculated that some of the victims had attempted to fight back after being hit with the hammer. So, some of the bullet holes could have been from them and not from the family. It's amazing that they were not caught sooner, given the claims, but, the Benders were very charming type people, and they charmed their way out of trouble. And there wasn't, I say that this stuff is evidence, but it's kind of circumstantial. There's not really any proof, so they were able to get away with all of this.
Yeah, lots of finger pointing and speculation.
Yeah. All right, we're going to jump to the town meeting and search that we were just, recapping there. 3 days after that town meeting, Billy Toll was driving cattle past the Bender property when he noticed that the farm animals were unfed and restless. Toll reported the fact to the township trustees, but because of inclement weather, several days lapsed before the abandonment could be investigated and the search could pick back up. The township trustee called for volunteers, and several hundred turned out to form a search party that included Colonel York.
Who is the brother of one of our missing men from episode 1.
Right, Dr. York. When the party arrived at the inn, they found the cabin empty of food, clothing, and personal possessions. So, like I said in the beginning, they're on the run now.
Yeah, they got the fuck out of there.
That's why their cattle hadn't been fed. Yeah. When the search party opened the door, a foul odor met them immediately. They traced the scent to the trap door underneath the dining room table. It was nailed shut. After opening up the trapdoor, the empty room beneath, which was 6 feet deep and which is 1.8 meters, and 7 feet, 2.1 meters, square at the top by 3 feet, 0.9 meters, square at the bottom.
So, like, coffin-sized.
Yeah, like exactly.
Awesome.
And it was found to have clotted blood on the floor.
Yikes.
It's like... Yeah, I don't like this. The stone slab floor was broken up with sledgehammers, but no bodies were found underneath it, and it was determined that the smell was from blood that had soaked into the soil.
Ew.
The men then dug under the cabin, but no bodies were found there either. They then began to probe the ground around the cabin, especially in the disturbed soil of the vegetable garden and orchard. And over there is where Dr. York's body was found.
Oh,
He was buried face down with his feet barely below the surface.
that's just sloppy.
Which is just, yeah. It seems like it was done in a hurry. Like, he
Yeah.
probably wasn't buried before they left.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're correct. Ugh.
The search party continued until midnight, with another 9 suspected grave sites marked before the men were satisfied.
Ugh.
And then they finally retired for the night.
Nobody's sleeping
Digging
after that. Fuck.
Right. Digging resumed the following morning, and another 8 bodies were found in 7 of the 9 suspected graves. Another body was found in the well, along with a number of body parts.
Yikes.
Which is just, it's super yikes. Like, Jesus.
And again,
Yeah.
these are just townspeople. These aren't police officers.
All but one of the victims had their heads bashed in with a hammer and their throats cut. And it was reported in newspapers that all had been indecently mutilated.
Ugh.
Which is just gross.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what it means.
I don't either.
In 1800s verbiage, it could mean many things. I mean, even women showing their knees was crazy.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I don't know.
You
Doesn't sound great.
use your imaginations.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Just pretend none of this ever
Yeah.
happened. One, especially this
I
part,
know.
fuck.
I'm sorry.
One body of a young baby girl was found with no injuries sufficient to cause death. It was speculated that she had been strangled or buried alive, which is just the fucking worst.
And this was likely Mary Ann, the baby that was traveling with Dr. York's
Dr.
neighbor,
York.
who had
Yeah.
originally gone looking for his
Oh,
neighbor.
yeah, right, the neighbor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mr. Lancaster. So sad.
Yeah. A Kansas newspaper reported that the crowd was so infuriated after finding all these bodies that they took it out on a friend of the Benders named Brockman, who was among the onlookers. Okay, this part reminds me of the Patreon episode that I did of the fucking, what was it? The Santa Claus bank robbery in Cisco, Texas. Yeah. It's like a fucking shit show that I don't understand. So this dude, who obviously didn't know the Benders that well to be their friend, because like, no
Why
one
would
be
he
friends with
spend a
them.
day and a half looking around their home
Right.
for
Also-
bodies if he knew they were there? Yeah.
If he was really their friend and he knew that they were really doing things, he probably would be on the run with them. He apparently was friends with them but didn't know who they were. Anyway, he was just there helping out, and
Poor
they're
guy.
like, wow, these people suck so bad. We hate them. Now we also hate you. How dare you be their friend? And so they hanged him from a beam in the inn until he was unconscious.
Oh my god.
Then revived and interrogated him, and then hanged him again multiple fucking times.
That's not okay. Oh my
No.
god. I have no words for that. That's like a movie. Yeah.
No. After the third hanging, they finally released him and he staggered home. And the interrogation, quote unquote, got them nowhere. Because he didn't fucking know. If he did, he would literally be running with them.
Yeah.
Like,
and Brockman needed therapy forever.
forever.
Poor guy.
Gosh. Another thing that was found in the house was a prayer book that had notes inside written in German. Some of the texts read, Johanna Bender, born July 30th, 1848. Another was, John Gebhardt came to America on July 18 something something. Another one said, Big Slaughter Day, January 8th. And then another one said, Hell Departed.
Ew.
Which is just fucking eerie.
I hate all of that.
All of it. And these texts exactly are why in the last episode I mentioned them being vampires. But we'll talk about
Yeah.
we'll talk about theories.
Yeah, definitely.
Word of these murders spread quickly, and more than 3,000 people, including reporters from as far away as New York City and Chicago, visited this site. The Bender cabin was destroyed by souvenir hunters who took everything, including the bricks that lined the cellar and the stones lining the well.
Oh
Which
my
is just
God.
like, how... It's ridiculous.
In
It really
some
is
ways,
ridiculous.
these are our people, but in other ways, it's like, that's fucked up. Like,
You took every bit and piece of it. Like one of you souvenir hunters could have went there and been like, you know what? I want the whole house now. It's a museum.
yeah,
You know?
right?
You didn't have to pull it all apart.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, awful things happened there. Maybe
It's
it
best
deserved
to
be
tear it
pulled
down.
apart.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but keeping bits of it, like, that's fucked up. I hope all of you
Yeah.
were visited by ghosties.
Yes, that's the weird. What's the word? I always forget it. Something about memorabilia, but it's creepy stuff.
Oh, yeah. It'll come to me. I don't know. It's like a
It's
weird
like true
obsession.
crime memorabilia, but it's not memorabilia. It's like murderabilia. There we go.
But it's like
Murderabilia.
people have like
That's what
it's
they
like
call it.
taboo. It's like when I did the petrified
Yeah.
forest. It's like it's fucked up. Like you know
Yeah.
things are gonna curse you, but you want to take it anyway.
Take nothing but memories, leave nothing but footprints. That's what they say about nature. That's what I'm going to say about murderabilia.
It works for both.
Yes. State Senator Alexander York offered a $1,000 reward for the Bender family's arrest, which is, in 2021, $21,603.
Sorry guys, it's too early
nice
in
reward.
2022. Don't know that math yet.
Oh, yeah. I'm never going to get used to that for
I
like
know.
at least 6 months.
Right? It's like when you were in elementary school.
I just
and you
got
would
used to
write your date
2021.
on your page. And it was always
Yeah.
fuck.
Okay. So on May 17th, Kansas governor, I guess governor and senator is different. Sorry. The governor, Thomas A. Osborne, offered a $2,000 reward for the apprehension of all four of them, which was today $43,206. So the senator was like 21,000 and the governor was like doubling it. Get these fucking Benders.
Get them off the streets.
Yes. Detectives following wagon tracks discovered the Bender's wagon abandoned with a starving team of horses just outside the city limits of Thayer, 12 miles or 19 kilometers north of the Bender Inn. It was
Pretty
confirmed.
far away to go.
It is
For like
pretty
2
far.
days. Yeah.
How did they not die of dysentery?
Did you see that Wine Dine and Storytime made a joke about the Oregon Trail game on our post?
Did they?
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's exactly the way I feel about this.
Right? I called the episode Don't Die of Dysentery, so.
It was confirmed that in Thayer, the family had bought tickets on the Leavenworth, Lawrence, and Galveston Railroad for Humboldt. At Chanute, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Chanute. John Jr. and Kate left the train and caught the MK&T train south to the terminus in Red River County near Denison, Texas. From there, they traveled to an outlaw colony thought to be in the border region between Texas and New Mexico. They would not be pursued there because lawmen following outlaws into this region often never returned home. Which is just
I'm trying to
Super
remember the
creepy.
name of that desert because I believe we covered it in the one with all the bodies with the Tennis podcast. So I remember talking about that stretch of
That
desert.
is the I think it's called like the Dead something, or
Yeah.
called the Dead Zone.
Oh, don't like that.
Yeah, and it's just sadly people just die so much there.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Just don't go there. So I don't blame the
yeah,
law
don't-
enforcement for not wanting to.
Goodness. While you think about that, we are going to take a quick break. And we'll get back into that. If you don't want to listen to this ad break, you can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com// Twisted and Uncorked and join for just $1. You get ad-free episodes, early releases, and urban legend bonus episodes, as well as much, much more if you check out the rest of the tiers.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Welcome back from our break. Now we will continue on with our Bender search. One detective later claimed that he had traced John Jr. and Kate to the border, where he had found that John Jr. had died of apoplexy, which today is just called a stroke. I think apoplexy sounds way cooler, though.
It does.
Is it apoplexy or apoplexy? Apoplexy?
I don't know.
Apoplexy?
I didn't Google pronounce that when I put it on your notes. Or tell
didn't
you
either.
what it was, so I'm surprised you
I googled that part. I was like, what the fuck is this weird word? It's a stroke. This detective, though, just claimed this. There's actually no records or proof to prove it. It's just taking his word for it if you wanted to. Elvira and John Bender did not leave the train at Humboldt like their children, but instead continued north to Kansas City, where it is believed that they purchased tickets for St. Louis, Missouri. Several groups of vigilantes formed to search for the Benders. Many stories say that one group actually caught the Benders and shot all of them. But Kate, who they burned alive for her witch-like... I'm sorry, I said that like a weirdo. Shot all of them except for Kate, who they burned alive for her witch-like behavior. Because she was a psychic or medium or clairvoyant or whatever they called it.
Of burning witches at the stake, so makes sense.
The 1800s, though?
Yeah,
I thought that was more like 16.
The Salem witch trials happened.
I think that was the 1600s.
Are you sure? The
Okay.
more you know, guys.
The more you know. All right.
But
well.
this is the Old West, so they're already behind the times.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. They are like, Bible thumper, terrified of witches.
Witch hunting, Indian hating rednecks.
There you go. Let's see. Another group claimed that they had caught the Benders and lynched them before throwing their bodies into the Verdigris River.
Nailed it.
Another claimed to have killed the Benders during a gunfight and buried their bodies on the prairies.
And
But
I
no
hate
one
such
ever
high
claimed.
staked things like this because everybody wants credit for it. So it's just going to create
Everybody
all of
wants
these rumors.
credit. But nobody ever claimed the $3,000 reward,
Yeah.
which was, our day $64,800.
So weird.
So, it's kind of like, wouldn't you get your money if you
Yeah.
actually did it?
Yeah.
I feel like none of them did.
I think you're right. I think they just
don't know.
wanted the rumors and claim to fame.
Yeah. As the story of the Benders and their escape spread, the search continued on and off for the next 50 years.
Insane.
Yeah. In 1884, it was reported that John Flickinger, the man who was possibly John Bender, had completed suicide in the Lake Michigan area. At the same time, though, an elderly man matching John Bender's description was arrested in Montana for a murder committed near Salmon, Idaho, where the victim had been killed by a hammer blow to the head, which is a Bender MO. You know, they had the hammer blows to all the people found on their property.
Yeah.
A message requesting positive identification was sent to Cherryvale, but the suspect severed his own foot to escape his leg irons and bled to death a few miles away.
Oh my
like
god.
Fucking Saw.
I was just thinking Saw. Fuck, that's
By the time
crazy.
a deputy from Cherryvale arrived, identification was impossible due to decomposition increased by the heat, because it was the 1800s and they didn't
the
have
Old West.
refrigerators.
Refrigerators.
Despite the lack of official identification, the man's skull was displayed as that of Pa Bender in a salmon saloon until Prohibition forced its closure in 1920, and the skull mysteriously disappeared.
Oh.
Whether John Flickinger or this unknown assailant was really John Bender remains unknown. I would love to know where that fucking skull is. Because
me too.
whether this is John Flickinger, John Bender, like, it's still a murderer's
we want to
skull.
know. Yeah.
Even if it isn't a serial killer's skull, this person was arrested for
Murder.
killing someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super creepy.
Wild.
On October 31st, 1889, it was reported that Miss Almira Monroe, a.k.a. Elmira Griffith, a.k.a. the woman who was reported to have been Elvira Bender, and her and another woman named Miss Sarah Eliza Davis had been arrested in Niles, Michigan for larceny. They were released after being found not guilty, but were then immediately rearrested for the Bender murders after detectives in the area saw the photos and descriptions of the two wanted women. According to the Pittsburgh Dispatch, the daughter of one of the Bender victims, Miss Frances E. McCann, had reported the pair to authorities in early October after tracking them down herself. Because, fucking...
Vigilante justice.
I mean, yeah, but not even that. Like, aren't we all just detectives? Like, she was a fucking true crime lover. She was a detective.
Yeah, she was doing the damn thing. Also, I would like to be referred to as Miss blah 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 blah.
Right? Why do they
I like
call
how
them
they
Miss?
all have fancy names, which again reminds me of Vampire Diaries. Miss Catherine.
Yeah, that's
blah.
true.
But me and Kevin are watching it, by the way. Right now we're on episode 6.
Oh, really? I fucking love it.
It's just as good as I remember. Oh. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
The women's identities were later confirmed by 2 Osage Township witnesses from a tintype photograph of the family. In mid-October, Deputy Sheriff Leroy Dick, the Osage Township trustee who had led the search of the Bender property, arrived in Michigan and arrested them. Sarah Eliza claimed that Elmira was indeed Elvira Bender, but that she herself was not Kate. She was Kate's sister Sarah.
Oh.
Elmira continued to deny the identification and in turn accused Sarah Eliza of being the real Kate Bender. So, just like a bunch of he said, she said. Or she said, she said. Deputy Sheriff Dick, along with Miss McCann, escorted the pair to Oswego, Kansas, where 7 members of a 13-member panel jury confirmed the identification of the women and committed them for trial. So another of Elmira's, aka Elvira's daughters, named Mary, later provided an affidavit claiming that her mother was actually serving 2 years in the Detroit House of Corrections under the name of Elmira Marks in 1872 for the manslaughter of her daughter-in-law, Emily Marks. Records of the incarceration back up this affidavit. At her hearing, Miss Monroe denied any knowledge of the manslaughter charge and remained incarcerated with her daughter. I don't quite understand why. I don't get the decision here.
I don't either.
I don't get a lot of it. But that's facts. Okay? That's facts.
This is all we know.
That's all. Yes. Okay. Their attorney produced a marriage certificate indicating that Miss Davis, which is Sarah Eliza, had been married in Michigan in 1872. So she couldn't have been Kate Bender. So at this point, what they're saying is Elmira could not have been there because she was serving time for manslaughter of Emily.
Yes.
But Elmira Monroe was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, why not be like, yeah, see, I was doing that. I couldn't have done these.
Yeah.
But she didn't. So then the lawyer's like, also, Sarah Eliza Davis also couldn't have done it because she got married that year. So she couldn't have been Kate Bender, which kind of doesn't make sense. Like, just because you got married doesn't mean you can't be a murderer. But whatever. The point to all of this, Judge Calvin eventually found that the affidavits were sufficient proof that the woman could not be convicted of the Bender crimes, and he discharged them both.
But, like, they still committed a crime to end up there in the first place. So, like, come on.
Also, Elmira she was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And the judge is like, no, I believe it, though. She's
It's
literally
the 1800s.
saying, nope. And he's like, no, yeah, though. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. It's again
anyway.
like your Santa Claus. It's just like Looney Tunes up in here. They're just like,
yes, it is
it's
so
fine.
Looney Tunes. The affidavits and other papers are now missing from the records, so further
Weird.
examination of them is impossible. Yeah, like, go figure.
So convenient.
A number of researchers question the ready acceptance of the affidavit's authenticity. They suggest that the county was unwilling to accept the expense of boarding these two women for an extended period of time during their imprisonment and thought it was better to just let them go. Which I do not agree with.
No, that's
Like,
1800s logic
but
to its
also-
best.
Well, also, can't you just execute them?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to pay for them the whole time?
Hang them
You
in
would
the
think
town
that-
square.
Yeah, you would think that letting them go would cost even more money in investigation and police work if, this kind of thing happened
Yeah.
again. So I think either the judge and prosecutors really were fucking idiots and did not think they were the real Benders, or maybe the Benders had some inside help. While the two women were certainly criminals and liars, as their own defense attorney admitted, the charges were weak, and many people doubted their identification as the Benders, given all the back and forth. The whereabouts and possible identities of the Benders are unknown to this day officially, but given all of this information, we have our own theories, and we'd love to hear yours as well. My theory is that they're fucking vampires. Okay, they are. They're vampires. They had help on the inside because they've been alive for like 100 years.
Yeah. And that's why
they're not
nobody knows
actually
who their
blood
true
related.
identity is. Yep.
Yeah, none of them are actually blood related.
Like the
They
Cullens.
just stay together as a family. Exactly. They all marry in the family, and it's like, ew, weird.
Yeah, like the Kate and John Jr. thing. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Yeah, ooh, weird incest, but really, they're not even fucking related. They're just both vampires. They can't date anybody else 'cause they're both vampires.
They just need
You
somebody to love.
Yeah.
I like that theory.
Um,
It's the
yeah,
only
that's my
theory that makes
and I'm
sense.
sticking with it. Yeah,
Only theory that fucking
they're
makes
still
sense.
alive to this day.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
mean,
theory?
if they were
You
really...
agree?
I agree. And if they were really caught, somebody would have claimed that reward. Like, there were so
Yeah,
many people
I would claim
bragging
that
that they
fucking
had
reward.
spot them, and I found them here, and I tracked them to this location. And it's like, everybody just wanted credit for being a part of it, given
Yeah.
how infamous the search was, but nobody ever got them. Or it's possible that
Yeah, if you...
when they left on foot and their wagon was found, that they were, I mean, maybe something happened in the desert and they were just eating.
They died of dysentery.
Yeah, they died of dysentery, literally.
If they're not vampires, that's
they died of
happens.
dysentery.
There's two options. Either they're vampires and they're still alive, or they died of dysentery.
Correct.
On the Oregon Trail.
Those are the only two options. So
Only two
wild.
options.
This family
Which
is
option do y'all choose?
insane. We hope you guys aren't too confused and your red string boards aren't too tangled. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you lots. Again, we couldn't do this without you, and we're so excited to see what 2022 brings for Twisted and Uncorked. And tell your friends, tell your family, leave that 5-star review. Stay away from the Osage Independence Trail. And, Sarah, what day is it today?
Today is January 4th, and this is kind of just a fun fact. On January 4th in 1961, the longest recorded strike ended. It was a 33-year strike.
What?
The Danish Barbers' Assistants.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
33-year strike. That's insane.
Wow. How does one even do that? Like, that could be partially half your life.
Yeah, they just didn't work. I don't know. That's crazy.
That is really cool, especially considering Sierra's husband is a barber, so that is really cool. Yeah.
Not a Danish one, though.
Not a Danish one, an Italian one.
That's true.
Don't go on strike for 33 years. Stay away from blood-soaked cloths and trapdoors. And we will see you guys next week for another episode. And in the meantime,
Keep it twisted.